This is the story of Liu Fan, who reincarnated as a golden lion with big balls. I mean, he reincarnated with a system that made him stronger no matter what he did, whether it was breathing, eating, or anything else. In the previous episode, we witnessed Golden Lion's decision to descend from the mountain to aid Xiao Ling in seeking revenge. They infiltrated the enemy base and successfully defeated all their opponents. However, just as they achieved victory, the main culprit, Lui, made an appearance. On the top floor of the building, Lui informed a red-haired lady that this was the coffin headquarters wanted. Mei Hu, an S-rank awakener and secretary of the Xiangxing organization, mocked him for summoning her here in secrecy to inspect the goods while using candlelight as the primary source of illumination. Lui, a B-rank awakener and the manager of the Xiangxing Lion Ridge branch, explained to her that exposure to intense light would cause the coffin to shatter and crack, and even faint candlelight was already pushing the limits. Meanwhile, Golden Lion observed from a nearby vantage point, and Candle Demon, seeking guidance from him, expressed concern about the impending movement of the coffin. Golden Lion, however, advised patience, opting to observe the situation before taking action. Lui proposed calling in reinforcements to move the coffin. However, Mei Hu dismissed the need for assistance, asserting that they could handle the task themselves. She then summoned Wu Gang, an A-rank awakener and the Xiangxing organization headquarters security captain. With her muscular physique, she effortlessly lifted the coffin onto her shoulder. Golden Lion was surprised to witness her strength and realized that Wu Gang was also an awakener. Mei Hu turned to Lui, reminding him that she had told him they didn't need any help. However, this left him confused and uncertain about her intent. Mei Hu swiftly threw a weapon toward Golden Lion's concealed location, revealing that there were people there. Golden Lion caught the weapon and revealed his presence, acknowledging that Mei Hu was also an awakener. Lui, now aware of the intrusion, sprinted towards them in anger, declaring his intent to kill them. He launched a kick at Golden Lion, who skillfully evaded the attack. Lui taunted him with a sly smile and remarked that his reaction speed was fast, but he challenged him to keep up with his pace. A rapid exchange of blows ensued as Lui unleashed a barrage of fast attacks. Despite taking hits, Golden Lion received messages indicating an increase in toughness with each impact. Lui laughed confidently and questioned his inability to fight back, demanding to see his true identity. Lui managed to remove his perfect disguise and was left in shock. He now realized that it was no wonder Golden Lion had great reaction speed and toughness. After all, he was a Beastman awakener. Mei Hu's face blushed red at Golden Lion's apparent handsomeness. Lui acknowledged that the beast form had extraordinary defense, but questioned if he had ever been kicked by light before. He then utilized Godspeed acceleration to close the distance and delivered a powerful golden light kick to Golden Lion's face. But to everyone's surprise, the kick had no effect on him, and it was Lui who suffered as his leg bones crumbled to pieces. As Lui cried out in pain, Golden Lion received a system message announcing his victory over a B-rank awakener and an increase in speed, prestige, and toughness. Candle Demon praised his strength for defeating him so easily, but Golden Lion was bewildered and pointed out that he hadn't even initiated the attack yet. Mei Hu was shocked by Lui's defeat and wondered how a B-rank awakener could lose so easily. Just then, Wu Gang seized the moment and mocked Lui for his weakness and decided to demonstrate the proper approach. She threw the coffin directly at him, who effortlessly caught it and placed it safely on the ground. Golden Lion then burst into anger and questioned how she could throw a treasure coffin so easily. Wu Gang ignored him and activated muscle liberation, causing her muscles to grow even larger. She then confidently asserted that no matter how much her muscles swelled, they wouldn't explode, as she was wearing a specially designed nanoscale carbon fiber vest. Throwing a punch at Golden Lion, Wu Gang urged him to die obediently. However, Xiao Ling appeared behind her and stated that it was she who should die. Xiao Ling thrust a dagger at her chest, but Wu Gang used indestructible body skill and blocked the attack. Xiao Ling was taken aback as she realized that her fang dagger couldn't be pulled out. Wu Gang spoke with pride that her muscles were strong, and there was nothing in this world that could harm her. She was invincible. As Wu Gang puffed her chest even more, Xiao Ling was sent flying back. Suddenly, Golden Lion appeared behind her and questioned if her brain was as strong as her muscles. He then flicked his finger at her face, the force causing her teeth to break, and she fell to the ground defeated and motionless. Mei Hu mocked them as simple-minded trash with some strength, but she was different. She had slowly risen from a homeless girl who lost her family and lived on the streets to her current position. It was because of her intelligence and awakened special ability. Suddenly, she discarded her jacket and provocatively challenged Golden Lion to beat her up if he wanted to. She then used her charm skill on him, believing that it could make any male, be they human or beast, obedient like a slave. However, Golden Lion remained unfazed by her actions and questioned her motives. Xiao Ling and Candle Demon shouted at her in anger and called her a vixen. Meihu was surprised to see that her charm skill didn't seem to work on him. She then used another skill and realized that Golden Lion hadn't used his yang energy and possessed a pure yang body, making ordinary charm ineffective. Determined to provoke his desire, Meihu employed her all-out extreme charm skill, calling him with a seductive invitation. Golden Lion felt something rising, and it was definitely not the shield hero. Suddenly, a massive flame erupted from him, accompanied by a resounding roar. The flames engulfing him intensified, and his roar reverberated with increased ferocity. Concerned, Xiao Ling questioned his condition, but instead of responding, Golden Lion forcefully pushed her aside. His gaze then fixated on Meihu. Meihu fell to the ground in fear and realized that the fire surrounding Golden Lion was pure lust fire, which couldn't be controlled. Moreover, it was impossible to take it back, even if she wanted to. Xiao Ling turned to Candle Demon in desperation, seeking an explanation. Candle Demon revealed that the king had been affected by lust fire. She further explained that all things have heart fire, and this heat fire is composed of desire fire and karma fire. These two fires are extremely dangerous, so they need to be suppressed and reconciled by the practitioner's innate Kai. However, the disturbance caused by Meihu had unsettled King's mental state, which, in turn, aroused his desire. Now, he was acting on instinct, and if nothing was done to extinguish this fire, he would be burned to death by his own desire. Meanwhile, Meihu, bound by the flames, reveled in perverse pleasure, shouting that she was about to die. Xiao Ling scorned her, declaring that she deserved the predicament she had created. However, Candle Demon revealed that it was still insufficient. She was demonized by absorbing King's energy, so she understood that King had a pure yang body, and he had not vented it before, so no one could bear his lust. As Golden Lion used 10 years pure fire power, the flames intensified even further, and Meihu's moans grew louder. Xiao Ling, growing increasingly worried, questioned if all they could do was watch as King burned to death. Candle Demon contemplated the situation and wondered if she could bear the fire. As a fire entity, she pondered her compatibility with all forms of fire in the world. In a bold move, she decided to absorb his lust fire. Employing the fire ancestral return technique, she began drawing in the intense flames. However, with each passing moment, her body underwent a profound transformation, mirroring the nature of the lust fire she had absorbed. Finally, she hugged him and made a desperate plea for him to give her his lust fire. After some time, Meihu regained consciousness, panting heavily as she questioned her survival. Glancing at the unconscious Golden Lion, she recognized the danger and realized she had almost burned to death. Before she could move, Xiao Ling confronted her with a drawn dagger, warning her not to move, or she would slit her throat. Golden Lion also woke up in a disoriented state, feeling an unusual softness in his body. A system message appeared, informing him that he had entered Sage mode, and his mental power and focus had increased. The message also congratulated him on passing the ceremony of becoming a lion, granting him a fire attribute, and allowing him to learn the sacred fire technique. His attention then turned to Meihu, whose exposed clothing caused such shock that he suffered a nosebleed. Xiao Ling chastised her, but Meihu claimed that she was innocent this time. After Candle Demon explained the events, Golden Lion questioned if her transformation was caused by her devouring his lust fire. Candle Demon affirmed this and mentioned that once she had completely digested the fires, she can turn back to her normal form. Meanwhile, fueled by anger, Xiao Ling seized Meihu's throat, vowing to kill her for involving the king in such a situation. However, Meihu smirked in response and stated that she wouldn't let her do that. Suddenly, she escaped from her grip and immediately bowed before Golden Lion. She started pleading for mercy and promised to divulge any information he sought and to comply with his wishes. Golden Lion was amused by her quick change in demeanor and decided to inquire about the purpose behind searching for the 3-life soul coffin. Meihu admitted that her knowledge was limited, but she knew that it was a treasure used for reincarnation. According to ancient secrets recorded in the soul coffin, lying in it would grant inheritance in an illusion and allow one to be reincarnated. Golden Lion knew that nothing was free in this world, so he inquired about the price one had to pay. Meihu explained that losing oneself in the illusion would result in the dispersion of the soul, and the body turning to dust. Golden Lion pondered the potential benefits of the 3-life soul coffin, considering its ability to help him obtain a yang body. However, the risk involved in the process was too significant. Xiao Ling broke his train of thought and asked him to let her try. However, Golden Lion mentioned that it was too risky. Just as he was about to refuse her, a system notice interrupted him. The completion of the ghost mission awarded him with a 30% increased success rate in the soul coffin trial. He cursed the system for giving him crappy rewards, as an increased chance didn't mean anything. Xiao Ling persisted, expressing her willingness to undertake the trial. She asserted that her life belonged to him, and if she couldn't even attempt the trial, she felt unworthy to be his ghost servant. Ultimately, he reluctantly agreed to her request. As Xiao Ling lay in the coffin, Golden Lion utilized the sacred fire technique on her. A life spirit heart fire emerged in his hand, symbolizing the connection between them. He reassured her that if her heart fire showed signs of extinguishing within the illusion, he would pull her out. As Xiao Ling closed her eyes, mysterious runes appeared around the coffin, and she was transported to the illusion. As Xiao Ling opened her eyes, she found herself in a familiar and heartwarming place. Her mother called out to her, saying that it was time to eat, and her father waved his hand, telling her to come and pour him a drink. Tears welled up in Xiao Ling's eyes as she saw her parents, but she resisted the emotional pull since she knew that it was just an illusion. Despite her resolve, she couldn't help but walk towards them, thinking that she would just go and take a look. Soon, Xiao Ling found herself immersed in a surreal scene, sharing a meal with her parents. Laughter and chatter filled the air, creating a semblance of happiness. Meanwhile, outside the illusion, Candle Demon expressed concern and asked him about the situation. Golden Lion responded that currently her vitality was stable, and he could only hope that she would overcome this calamity. In the illusion, Xiao Ling's parents stood proudly outside their house, surrounded by guests offering congratulations. Grateful for the well wishes, they invited everyone inside. An old man praised Xiao Ling's marriage, assuring her mother that she could now rest assured. Inside, Xiao Ling, adorned in a wedding dress, sat beside her groom, smiling as she called him her husband. Candle Demon urgently informed him that the sun was about to rise, and if Xiao Ling didn't wake up soon, her spirit would scatter. Golden Lion observed Xiao Ling's struggle. Although her vitality still burned, it was too hard for her to resist the stone coffin with her mentality. Realizing the urgency, he decided they couldn't wait any longer. He pointed his finger at Xiao Ling's forehead, declaring his intention to bring her back. In the illusion, as Xiao Ling called to her husband once more, she suddenly heard voices calling out her name. She then saw Golden Lion's face, which awakened her from the enchanting dream. As she observed her surroundings, it didn't take her long to realize that she was still trapped in an illusion. As Candle Demon urgently warned of the approaching sunlight, Golden Lion focused on Xiao Ling, whose eyes began to glow just in time. A triumphant smile crossed his face as he declared that his plan had worked. Xiao Ling had successfully awakened from the illusion, and Candle Demon was overcome with joy, congratulating her. Golden Lion looked at her warmly and welcomed her back. With teary eyes, Xiao Ling expressed her gratitude to him. Both Xiao Ling and Candle Demon hugged him, and amidst their embrace, he received multiple system messages, congratulating him on completing the bonding task and finding an ally. His reputation increased, and his demonic sense upgraded to level 3. Additionally, he awakened 2 new demonic sense skills, Overlook and Communion. He also inherited the convergence formula for energizing the illusory realm. Lastly, he gained a new attribute called Kai Absorption. Golden Lion smiled and contemplated the substantial rewards from the mission, pleasantly surprised by the gains from entering the illusion with a strand of spiritual wisdom. He realized that the completed inheritance received by Xiao Ling must be even more impressive. Just then, Meihu spoke, offering congratulations on the family reunion and expressing her intention to leave. But Candle Demon was not going to let her off easily. She pinched her ear and questioned Golden Lion about how to deal with her. Considering Meihu's role in his recent developments, he concluded that she might be able to assist him in upgrading his skills. Seizing Meihu, he declared that he wanted her to assist him in his cultivation until his sacred fire technique reached perfection. Meihu didn't realize what he wanted to do, and she could only exclaim in confusion. Sometime later, as the organization's building burned, Golden Lion stood outside, declaring that it was necessary to eliminate those who had set their sights on his Lion Mountain. However, his thoughts were interrupted by a warning message, revealing that the second spiritual energy wave was about to begin. In Lion Mountain, early morning, the atmosphere was disrupted by constant system messages notifying that the second spiritual energy wave had begun. The effects were palpable, and the beasts in the forest had already started sensing the changes. Green Snake entered Golden Lion's cave and called out to him in concern. However, Golden Lion, wearing a confident smile, reassured her that the moment he had been waiting for had finally come. The system then assigned a new mission, instructing him to expand the territory. The explanation revealed that the Chi absorption attribute had linked his demonic energy with Lion Mountain, transforming the entire area within it into a source of his power. He was given the task of expanding the territory as much as possible before the conclusion of the second spiritual energy wave, in order to withstand the influx of additional spiritual energy. Golden Lion once again realized that this was a cheat system. He could just lie flat and still get stronger. Just then a warning message appeared, declaring that failure to meet the goal within the specified time would result in his body exploding due to the inability to withstand excessive spiritual energy. The progress bar remained at 0 out of 100,000. Seeing this, he shouted in frustration, expressing discontent with the system's ability to spoil the mood. However, he quickly shifted his mindset, deciding to utilize his demonic sense to assess the range of Lion Mountain and test out his new skill. He activated his demonic sense, Overlook, and with this third-level demonic sense, he could observe the flow of demonic energy throughout Lion Mountain. It was like having a god's eye view. But suddenly, he noticed that his golden fruit tree was now toppled, and the pangolin who guarded the tree wasn't there. Soon, he found the pangolin lying on the ground in a sorry state. Golden Lion was enraged and demanded to know who dared to touch his subordinate. Using demonic sense, Overlook, he scanned the area and detected the lingering demonic energy left behind by the intruder. Determined, he began tracing the culprit's demonic energy, vowing to find and punish the intruder. Golden Lion, his tone laced with anger, rebuked the audacious intruder daring to disturb his territory. The offender had even felled his prized golden fruit tree, the primal spiritual root of Lion Mountain. The tree bore fruit every 10 years, with each golden fruit granting 30 years of demonic power upon consumption. He vowed to slaughter the troublemaker and repurpose him as fertilizer for the golden fruit tree. In a commanding tone, he issued orders to his minions to take down the intruder. Golden Lion led the charge, and behind him were Lion Mountain Beast Patrol Captain Restless Parrot, Eastern Hall Master Green Snake, Northern Hall Master Giant Bear, and Western Hall Master White Fox. The group swiftly approached Lion Mountain Beast's Golden Peak Guardian Pangolin, who lay wounded in a hole. Pangolin, in pain, called out to him and Bear. Giant Bear assessed the situation and reported that there was still hope for Pangolin's recovery. Observing a group of monsters ahead, Golden Lion ordered Bear to care for Pangolin. Just then, the monster let out a thunderous roar. Golden Lion was infuriated by its audacity to roar at him, and he decided to showcase the might of the Eastern Lion's roar. However, before he could act, Green Snake intervened, asserting that such trivial matters didn't necessitate his personal involvement. With swift precision, Green Snake charged at the Earth Dragon, seizing it in her grip. Meanwhile, Pangolin expressed remorse to him for failing to guard the golden fruit tree. Golden Lion, curious about the Earth Dragon's origin, inquired about its history. Pangolin explained that the creature had initially been an earthworm tending to the soil beneath the golden fruit tree. During the revival of spiritual energy, it underwent an abrupt mutation, though only its body transformed. Lacking spiritual intelligence, the creature descended into a frenzy, uncontrollable and unpredictable. Furthermore, it sustained itself by consuming the decaying fruit and leaves of the golden fruit tree year-round. Once mutated, dealing with it became a formidable challenge. Green Snake swiftly cut the Earth Dragon in half, but to everyone's astonishment, the creature employed Earth Dragon's split skill, causing both severed halves to come alive. Green Snake continued the battle, but the situation turned dire as she became overwhelmed. When Golden Lion called out to her, she admitted the troublesome nature of the situation, explaining that the more she fought, the more of these creatures appeared. Giant Bear suggested joining the fight, and White Fox readily agreed. However, Green Snake vehemently refused, insisting on handling it alone. She had been diligently cultivating by the king's side day and night, and today was the day to test the results. She then used the massive demonic aura dragon transformation and took the form of a dragon serpent. She then unleashed dragon's breath upon the earth dragons, and a colossal explosion engulfed the area. As the dust settled, Green Snake reverted to her original form, exhaling a long breath. Parrot, White Fox, and Bear stood in awe of her remarkable performance. Suddenly, Parrot shouted in anger and realized that this was the reason why she always slept in the king's cave every day. He had thought it was characteristic of cold-blooded animals, but only now did he realize that she was actually cultivating using the king's demonic energy. Giant Bear and White Fox joined in, calling her a sly and cunning snake. Green Snake retorted, defending herself by asserting that Candle Demon had also been transformed by the king's demonic energy. Observing the commotion, Golden Lion remarked on the ongoing rivalry for favor among his subordinates. He then received a message indicating an increase in reputation and charisma due to affection earned from subordinates. Suddenly, Green Snake noticed remnants of the Earth Dragon escaping and swiftly pursued it, determined to prevent its escape. Golden Lion sensed that below them were the earth veins of Lion Mountain, and according to the system, his power source was connected to Lion Mountain. Hence, the potential consequences of its destruction were unimaginable. Concerned, he issued an order for his minions to descend and join the pursuit. Sometime later, Golden Lion and his group walked through a dark cave illuminated by his fire. He spotted Green Snake and inquired about the situation. Green Snake reported that the Earth Dragon had escaped underground by utilizing its ability to sense surroundings through its skin, while her sense of smell was disrupted by the spiritual energy of the Earth's veins. He activated his demonic senses and realized that the first spiritual energy wave was on the surface, while the second was within the Earth's veins. He could feel that the Earth Spirit's vibration was connected to his spine. Determined to locate the culprit, he led the group, declaring they would dig 3 feet into the ground if necessary. They advanced through the cave for some time, and soon Golden Lion sensed that the atmosphere there was reminiscent of the lion's den. He couldn't help but wonder if it was an ancient relic. His train of thought was interrupted when Green Snake pointed ahead, drawing attention to a scene of dead Earth Dragons. Golden Lion investigated further and noticed a red umbrella behind the deceased Earth Dragons. Suddenly, the umbrella lifted, revealing the main culprit of this incident, Red Umbrella Kai Luo. Giant Bear called out to his fallen subordinates, but there was no response. Turning his accusatory gaze toward Kai Luo, he questioned angrily if all of this was her doing. Kai Luo responded with a sly smile, explaining that it wasn't her intention to waste food, she simply couldn't consume anymore. In a fit of rage, Giant Bear attacked her with the intention of killing her. However, Kai Luo effortlessly blocked the onslaught and taunted the bear for overestimating his capabilities. Witnessing the unfolding conflict, White Fox called out to Parrot and decided to join the fray. Parrot initiated an attack with the Illusory Radiance Chillicosm, while White Fox employed the Fox Stealth Shadow Descent and struck with Ridge Claw. Undeterred by these assaults, Kai Luo focused on Giant Bear, causing it to cry out in pain. Kai Luo then started laughing and mocked the assembled creatures, dismissing them as unintelligent beasts, only fit to be food. Golden Lion smiled and questioned whether she took him for a mere sick cat just because the lion had not roared. Kai Luo laughed, mocking him and dismissing him as a mere little kitty. Golden Lion unleashed the powerful lion's roar, and Kai Luo responded with Bricade's Celestial Defense style, indestructible, to block the attack. However, she soon realized her mistake as the roar ended, and the red umbrella she wielded fell to the ground. Golden Lion noted that only a broken umbrella remained, so he couldn't help but wonder if the female demon had perished. However, he soon dismissed this thought as he sensed her demonic energy. Kai Luo hid inside the red umbrella, acknowledging in frustration the overwhelming strength of her opponent. She pondered the origin of this formidable adversary, wondering if he was their leader. Despite recognizing her disadvantage in a direct confrontation, she questioned Golden Lion's ability to protect all his minions. Suddenly, the umbrella floated in the air, and Kai Luo's voice echoed, presenting a new challenge. She unleashed the umbrella's universe, devouring heaven and earth, creating a vortex that started attacking everyone in its vicinity. White Fox recognized that the umbrella represented an alternate space and attempted to dodge it. However, her efforts were in vain as both she and Parrot were soon sucked into the umbrella. The red umbrella soared towards Golden Lion, but Green Snake intercepted it and tried to halt its advance. However, the umbrella countered, leading her to cry out in pain. Giant Bear rushed to her aid, executing the 1,000-pound plunge, but his attempts proved futile. Both he and Green Snake were ultimately sucked in by the umbrella. Witnessing his friends being devoured one by one, Golden Lion called out to them in worry. In the midst of this chaos, a childhood memory flashed in his mind. Young Golden Lion spoke to Bear, stating that they had successfully driven away the hyena clan. As a result, he believed the hyenas wouldn't dare to encroach upon their territory anytime soon. Bear asked curiously why he always charged at the forefront during battles. Golden Lion smiled and replied that it was the king's duty to protect his minions. This prompted Bear to adopt a thoughtful expression and realize that since they were minions, they had to charge even further ahead. On the battlefield, only Golden Lion and the Red Umbrella stood defiantly. Consumed by rage, he bellowed, demanding the return of his family. The pressure emanating from him distorted the space, rendering Kai Luo unable to move. In a frenzy, he began assaulting the umbrella, but Kai Luo confidently explained that her umbrella's surface was universe brocade, capable of endless repair, and its ribs were crafted from an ancient divine tree, rendering them indestructible. However, panic set in as Golden Lion bit into it, causing the umbrella to crack. Kai Luo, in desperation, warned that harming her would jeopardize the chance of ever seeing his companions again. Golden Lion regained his senses and questioned her statement. Kai Luo reappeared and explained that her brocade universe umbrella could gather all living beings in heaven and earth. Regardless of whether they were monsters or deities, they would all turn into pus and blood instantly. Golden Lion, determined, demanded her to release his friends. In response, Kai Luo smiled slyly and extended her foot toward him, arrogantly declaring that if he wanted their release, he had to lick her feet and be a good dog for her. This episode ends here. What do you think? Will Golden Lion lick her feet, or will he retaliate? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.